Hey Tim, another little memory lane thing. Hope you're doing well. You know, I think it was might have been last time I sent you, or in the last one, I was talking about Smith's Repair and doing auto body work and how much I disliked that. And I thought, well, you know what? There were a lot of jobs that were really good though. And I thought about 3 different jobs came to mind that you'll probably remember them all. Remember when we got a contract to build a bunch of campfire grates? You know, they had the swinging tops with a grate on the top for building a fire in, and I think some of them were for Trenville Park and some of them were for Buffalo Jump, and I don't know where the other ones went. I believe we were building some of them for the government of Alberta, for Parks Alberta or something, and that was a good job. I always thought the most enjoyable jobs were the ones where you took some materials and manufactured something new out of them. I believe you probably, you did most of those campfire grates, as I recall. I built a few of them, but it seems to me that you did most of them. In fact, I think you built one for yourself afterwards too, didn't you? Anyway, that was a good job. And I also remember you and I worked quite a bit together on Wilf Screen's grain tank. It was a trailer that we made it out of an old, he had an old truck, right? And we cut the back end, we cut the frame apart and separated the back part from the cab, and then built these big tanks on it, and with augers on the bottom for removing the grain, and also there were sliding chute door things on the bottom, and that was a good job. But I do recall we should have had a MIG. Remember building those big pyramid-shaped inverted pyramids for the tanks, and we made it out of I forget how many gauge it was, but it was fairly thin metal, and we could have used a MIG for that, eh? It's kind of awkward to weld that stuff with just a stick welder, but that was a good job. It was very interesting because we had to design a lot of things on it. And then another big job that we had was George Major's grain cleaner. Remember that? I think I probably worked on that one a little more than you, but you did a lot of work on it too. We worked together on that quite a bit. That was a big job, eh? We had to, George had a truck, and we had to cut the frame apart and lengthen the frame a couple of feet or so. And we had to build lengthen the frame in the middle so the whole truck was longer, and then we had to add some more frame onto the end of it so that it stuck out further at the back. Got all these big machines, mounted them up on there, and built all those augers. And oh man, there were augers running horizontally, lengthwise, diagonally on that, and every which way. And all the controls and the catwalks and things on it. It was a big job. I remember going to look at one. We went to look at one to get the idea of how they were supposed to be built, and I remember thinking, wow, how are we going to make a thing like this? It looked like a contraption from a Dr. Seuss book. There's so many different parts on them, hooked together every which way. I took my camera and photographed the one that we saw from every angle, so that I could study it and get it to make sense to me. But actually, that was a fun project. We did a lot of work on it, even to the point of building some of the augers, although we did send some of them out to Linden. And interestingly, after I became a teacher and moved down to GEM, that machine used to come down to Springview Colony where I taught, and they used to clean grain for them. But that was a good job. And another thing, remember working with Don Jewell? Actually, Don was a pretty good guy to work for. I really enjoyed him, or to work with, I mean. I really enjoyed him. But I remember the thing about Don was he would definitely win the Lifetime Award for all the people that I've worked with for maybe most creative use of colorful language. I mean, nobody could string epithets together like Don, and every time it was different from the last time. But so that was some good jobs that we had at Smith Repair. You know, I was just thinking, a word of wisdom at the end. Maybe not a word of wisdom, but a little wish. You know, when I die, I want to go peacefully, like my grandfather did. Not like those other people that were... I'm doing this wrong, Tim. You know, when I die, I want to go peacefully in my sleep, like my grandfather. Not like those other people screaming away in the car. You know, when I die, I want to go peacefully, in my sleep, like my grandfather. Not like those other people screaming. You know, when I die, I want to go peacefully, in my sleep, like my grandfather. Not screaming like all those other people that were in his car. Anyway, take care, Tim.